What's up guys, and welcome back to Software Not Solutions, and today we're talking about Call of Duty Warzone's latest update. Yes, it was quite small, but every time Call of Duty does an update, the game becomes more fucked than it was before, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people know this. And if you agree with me, smash that motherfucking like button, because every time Call of Duty Warzone brings out a small update, a huge update, whatever the case might be with a fucking update, the game's more broken than what it's ever been before. And that's just the thing. Unfortunately, Warzone is completely fucked, and that's why I make videos to help people out as much as I can. I read up on Reddit and I read up on social media to find out if people are having problems with the latest seasons or with the latest updates. Now, a lot of people are struggling with the game, for instance, where they're having technical difficulties, where the game crashes to the desktop, or for instance, a lot of people are having FPS drops and input latency, and just the game is trash to play. And they have really good computers. I mean, a lot of people are running maybe the exact same graphics card as me and stuff like that, but they have slower RAM or whatever the case might be. So today I'm going to show you the best settings you can be using for this latest update for Call of Duty Warzone, and you should be good to go. Alright, so I did put the volume a little bit down in this game in the options because King Kong and Godzilla's going absolutely crazy in the background, so you won't be able to hear my voice. So I just put it down. Anyways, first one over here is full screen mode. I highly recommend playing this in full screen mode. A lot of people do play this on, let's say, full screen extended window or full screen borderless, whatever the case might be. If you play on these settings and you're getting good FPS up here, and while you're playing and while you're in the lobby or whatever the case might be, go ahead and put it on which you prefer for your machine. I do recommend full screen mode. One thing I do want to get clear with people out there is a lot of people has been asking me, yo dude, your thing is going over the max VRAM. Are you sure that's a good idea? For me, it's absolutely fine playing with my machine. I have a 9700K with a water cooling block, so it keeps it cool. I also do have an RTX 2060 OC gigabyte version. It's not the best graphics card in the world, but it's also not the worst. So I can play my games absolutely fine. Right. So going over your VRAM is fine as long as you don't hit the VRAM that is your VRAM on your card. So I have 6 gigs of VRAM, so I'm good to go because I'm only doing about 4.3, right? So that's fine. That's completely fine. Don't worry about that. All right. So this one over here, obviously you're going to select your display of the monitor that you're currently running. So whatever monitor you're running your game on, just select it. This one over here, you're going to select your graphics card, and this is your refresh rate of your monitor. A lot of people play this game on gaming monitors, where the hertz is like really, really up there. So 144, 240, whatever the case might be, go ahead and switch it to that hertz of your refresh rate. This one over here plays a very big role with the render resolution. So obviously it gives you a preview, a sneak preview of what happens when you change the resolution down or up. So this is the best it can be, and this is the worst it can be, right? So a lot of people change this, and I do recommend you change this if you are getting FPS loss and you're running, let's say, a low-end gaming PC or a low-end gaming laptop. Just change it down to about 85. That's the lowest I recommend you go ahead and do this. 85, 90 is also okay, or 95 is okay. And you just press enter and it will change it. Alright, I'm just going to keep mine on 100, so I'm just going to double click inside here, and then just change mine to 100. Okay, mine just hold on, give me a second. Actually did something there. Okay, there we go. So let's just put this on 100 and press enter. There we go. So I'm playing my game at 1080p. I can push mine up to 4K, but I'm not going to go and do that because I'm going to obviously lose FPS. 1080p is very good to run your game at. I mean, the game's quality is great. I mean, seriously. I mean, 1080p and upwards, it's fucking awesome to play a game at that resolution, and it's really, really nice. Anyways, so just keep this at 100% and you should be good to go. You can drop it down if you are losing FPS. If you put this up over here, you can obviously go and select the resolution of your monitor. So I do recommend keeping this at 100. This one over here, dynamic resolution, keep this at disable and just leave it disabled. This one over here, you don't need to touch, just leave it at 10. This one plays a very big role on the monitor you're currently running. If you're running an ultra wide, or whatever the case might be, I do recommend selecting auto because it will automatically select what type of monitor you're currently running, or you can change this to however you want it to be depending on the monitor you're running. This one over here, this is VSync. So what it does is it helps you prevent screen tearing in your game. So this is what screen tearing looks like. This is what happens in your game if you do not have VSync enabled. If you are getting screen tearing, right? If you are getting screen tearing, you put this on, you enable it, then whatever you cap your refresh rate at is what FPS you're going to do, right? So let's say you do 144 hertz, whatever the case might be. Your max frames is going to do 144. Let's say it's 60, your max FPS is going to be 60, right? That's the case, okay? So I don't get screen tearing. I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't get screen tearing, so you could just disable this one completely. This one over here, custom frame rate limit, I highly recommend you put this on unlimited, and you go over here, and then this will be locked. You can change this. I don't recommend doing this. Just put it unlimited and leave it over there. This one over here, I highly recommend changing this to about 60, 65, so you can actually see the WZ inside the middle bar over here, or the middle square block. This one over here, display gamma, it obviously depends on the monitor that you're running, but I do recommend putting this on 2.2 and you should be good to go with the game. This one over here, NVIDIA highlights, disable it, and then NVIDIA reflex low latency, disable this as well. Once you're done with that, you're just going to click apply settings and then say apply. Once you're done with that, you go to quality and we're going to go over this over here. A lot of people has been asking, let me correct myself. A lot of people has asked me, does FOV, field of view, affect your FPS in the game? No, it does not. It does not affect FPS at all. If you might be in one of the people out there that has a machine where your field of view FPS affects everything in your game while you're playing, and you're changing your field of view and it's affecting your FPS, then you might be one of those people. If that's the case, go ahead and change it to your sweet spot and you see that it doesn't take any FPS and stuff like that. But for me personally, I tested this and I tested on a lot of machines actually, and field of view does nothing to FPS at all. It literally doesn't do anything. Okay? If you put this at the highest it can go to, or whatever your personal preference is, do go ahead and go down over here and put this on affected. Do not put it on independent. It's going to go back to its default, which is 60, while it's on 120 when you ADS, aim down sight. Alright, this one over here, camera movement. I highly recommend you put this on least. It's literally the best, but it's your own personal preference. I mean, I'm not going to judge anyone who, if you're going to put this up or whatever the case might be, and put it on default. I put mine on least. This one over here, streaming quality, you're going to put this on low. You don't need it to be high. Texture resolution, if you are running a lower end machine than myself, right? Then I do highly recommend you put this on normal, and you should be good to go with this game, right? Okay, so I'm just going to keep mine on high. But like I said before, I do recommend putting it on normal because your game looks literally exactly like that still. It does not look like this on normal. Okay, so leave it at normal. You should be good to go. Texture faulting anisotropic, you put this at low. You can also put this at normal as well, and you should be also good to go. This one over here, particle quality, low or high. I do recommend putting this at low. Bullet impacts and sprays. Obviously, a lot of people are toxic, or a lot of people wants to see the effects of bullets, impacting doors or walls or trees or whatever the case might be. You can go ahead and enable this. It's just a feature in the game. All right. Tessellation. I do recommend you just maybe put this on near. You can also completely put this off on disable. I leave mine on disable. It gives me more FPS. Literally, it gives me more FPS and it gets me more FPS inside my game. This one over here is just an effect gore. So if you want to see people's legs fly off or whatever the case might be, you can go ahead and enable this. I keep mine enabled. This one over here, on-demand texture streaming. I do highly recommend you to disable this one over here. Then we're going to get to this just now. After everything is done, we get to this one over here. This one I highly recommend you play around with. Okay, so if you have this NVIDIA DLSS, right? If you have this option, then you're going to put this all the way up and put this on quality, right? If you do not have NVIDIA DLSS, you're obviously going to disable it and then turn this all the way down and you should be good to go. But then one thing's going to play a big role inside the game is this one over here. You're going to put this either on number 1, so 1 times, T2 times, or this one over here. Right, for the best looking of the game, so how good the quality looks inside the game, right? For me personally, if you have NVIDIA DLSS, put this all the way up to quality and push this all the way up. It's the best FPS that you're going to get inside your game. Trust me, it works perfectly fine. Depth of field, you're going to disable this. It's a multiplayer game. You do not need it. World motion blur, like I said, multiplayer game. You do not need it. Weapon motion blur, multiplayer game. You do not need it. Shadow map resolution, I highly recommend you just put this on normal. This one over here plays a big role for a lot of people with different types of machines. If you're running a very low-end gaming PC, I do recommend you put this both off. If you're running a mid-tier to a high-end gaming PC, go ahead and put this on because it actually makes the game look much better. particle lighting. Obviously, you're going to just put this on normal. You do not need the game to look absolutely amazing while you play and you're losing FPS. I mean, that's why you are watching this video, is because you are either losing FPS or your game is stuttering, or just in general you're getting input lag, or your game is just absolutely trash to play. Alright, DirectX Ray Tracing, completely disable this. I mean, if you're out here watching my video because of FPS problems and stuff like that, do not turn this on. Don't. You are going to lose FPS inside the game, and the game's going to look absolutely shit. And it's going to feel shit, and it's going to just be shit if you put this on. Right? Ambient occlusion, disable this. You do not need this on. Screen space reflections, SSR, I highly recommend you go ahead and put this off. Disable it. Right, now what's going to happen is this. You're going to apply these settings. You're going to scroll all the way up. Once you're done with all of these things, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new here. Right? Do those things, okay? If this worked for you, right? So once you're done with everything, you click on Restart Shader Installations. So then it's going to apply the settings that you just changed now. Then when you're done with that, then all you need to do is go and play your game, and you should be good to go with FPS, ladies and gentlemen. If this worked for you, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're new here. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be here to help people out with Call of Duty as much as I can. That's what I do. That's what my YouTube channel is mostly about. And as always, peace out.